Today, I'm making Mike take apart my first 350 motor ever for the 70. Let's get to it. So this is our non-Chinese 350.
Until we get a hold of it, and then it'll be Chinese.
Yeah. So this motor is actually numbers matching to the car, which is kind of cool, but then it's kind of dumb. But it's my son's first car. I really don't want to give him like a 400 or 500 horsepower motor. I just don't. So we're gonna give him this.
That only makes 300.
He's trying to make me put that one in the car.
It's only 300.
I believe this is actually the original LT1 block. Just looking at the stampings that we saw on the motor, it aligns with a potential LT1, but we won't know until we actually open it up. And it has about 1,500 years of dirt, grime. I'm fairly certain when we picked the motor up, I dropped a few bolts inside here, so we'll find those. Hopefully, I don't know. I don't know what to say. Like, I watch Vice Grip Garage all the time, and I'm just like, you just never know what you're gonna get into. And the motors he has taken apart and redone have not looked nearly this bad. He would probably see this motor and be like, nope, I'm out. So Derek, I doubt you'll ever stumble across this video, but if you do, what would you do to this thing? You'd probably throw it in the trash can. That's probably what people will post in the comments. So yeah, let's start pulling this thing apart. Original oil pressure sending unit. Is it bad I didn't know what that was? I didn't know what that was.
Yeah, that's what they used to look like. It's literally just a switch that operates your, the pressure comes in here, pushes on a disc, and it closes the resistance in here, so it turns the light off. Huh. This is a temperature sensor.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Which is kind of weird to be in the passenger side. This isn't a factory piece. You can see the screws on the top of it. This is for something else in the car, like a gauge or something like this. This is your factory unit right here. So this actually did something else in the car. I wonder if they had like an electric fan or something hooked up.
Hey, it still has all of its freeze plugs, so.
For now.
I just hope the block's not cracked or something.
Why would the block be cracked?
I don't know. Got dropped. Have you seen the filter?
I did see the filter.
Not like the filters are strong items, but yeah, this filter has seen better days. We're gonna find gold?
Good Lord.
I mean, there might be baby dinosaurs in it. It's a Fram filter, so
God.
it's not that old, is it?
Well, dude, Fram's been around longer than I have.
That's not saying much. You're like 12.
Yeah, right. That's pretty bad. Smells just like fuel. She might have been running a bit rich.
Somebody took a moment to just PB blast all the nuts and the lifters.
Gotta lube it up, pull it apart.
He was a little concerned those might be really stuck in there.
Yeah, well, at least the socket comes on and off it again.
Hey, is your tool gonna have enough battery to get all these off?
I got enough batteries. On the LS motor, because the LS, the lifters are underneath the cylinder head.
Yeah.
Where these are in the valley, so now you can actually see. Yeah.
They weren't stuck.
These aren't even hardened. That is crap.
Dude, there is so much grease around all these bits.
Which brings me to my next point. Don't run cheap oil.
What is that?
Oh, that's so good.
What is that?
I don't know, but I touched my new gun and it's on it.
Oh.
No. I'm so sorry.
Oh my, that's not even, is that even oil?
I don't know what that is.
That's not even...
$1 if you taste it.
Last one. Last bolt.
It's always the last one. This should get it.
And when the bolt doesn't want to move, you get the little bit bigger breaker bar.
Oh, the socket's too big to fit in there.
Oh.
If it was a big block,
Is it just gonna come off?
is it gonna let me?
I mean, you're a pretty strong guy. Oh, it's,
Yeah, there's no way.
you don't think that's gonna just
There's
come
no
off?
way. It didn't budge.
No?
It didn't budge. I literally just lifted the motor up. Yeah, it's not gonna.
Here, now try. What's up? Nice rubber mallet you got there.
Was. These have been on there for a minute.
Oh. I thought I saw movement. Oh, yeah, it's moving a little bit. I think the grease in here has just become one with the head. Look at the inside of the water jet. Like, what is in there? That is gross. A little more persuasive than your rubber mallet. Oh, look at, there's a crack. I could see.
Try not to drop it on my goddamn foot.
It's coming. Oh, there's a gasket.
Metal shim gasket. Small valve.
Yeah.
Oops. You guys are MLS. Back in the day, it was just one.
Mike's making his favorite soup.
Oh God, tomato. Yeah, this is pretty bad. Like you can.
That looks gross.
You're like, oh, if it catches your nail, like, oh.
That catches my finger.
So well, we used all this new stuff. The new stuff's got really low tension rings, and it's basically helps gas mileage and friction and stuff when the piston's sliding up and down. This is pretty primitive technology with the ring sizes in them. It's a fatter ring, and then they're pretty high tension against the cylinder walls. You know, basically what ends up happening is over time, it actually starts wearing the cylinder out, and then you wind up getting a ridge on the inside of the cylinder here.
That one didn't need as much persuasion. Maybe that means it's less rusty.
Hopefully.
I doubt it.
Oh, that means we only got to bore the one cylinder out.
It's a 351.
Oh God, don't say that ever again.
Just kidding. Yeah, I'm not thinking this is going to be pretty good. Oh, it is better on this side.
We got a suck valve on this one.
And that valve's not even seated.
Yeah. They're supposed to have a little bit of a ridge there. But yeah. Yeah. This probably doesn't even have hardened seats in it. So when they started doing that, when they went from leaded to unleaded, they had to start putting hardened seats in the valves to keep them from the heat dissipating the cylinder head and creating distortions. This motor would be old enough to have that issue.
Yeah, considering it's tied to a 1970.
This is kind of like a little walk down memory lane.
Flat tappet.
Hydraulic flat tappet.
Shiny. Oh, I wonder what that cam looks like.
See if you get the angle right, you can catch the divot right there.
Yeah.
And you can see where the cam's been wearing it out, and then as it goes around in a circle, it keeps wearing on the circle mill.
So I wasn't recording, but Mike was highlighting it's been a minute since he's worked on a flat tappet motor, and so he doesn't have the proper puller. So, you know, needle nose pliers also work, because these aren't ever going to be reused.
No, I don't ever suggest reusing these.
These are probably original. Ooh, that's pretty.
Well, I think a new set of lifters for this motor is like $30.
Oh God, it's so cheap.
Flat tappets are really cheap.
Can we just build these motors from now on instead of the ones we...
Sure, if you don't mind
being slow?
Turned up 15-second cars.
Oh.
It does have oil.
Oh, this pan is terrible.
This whole motor.
Wait, did GM paint these pans orange as well?
Yeah, the whole motor.
Huh.
So it would go through on an assembly line and it would spray everything.
So that is probably the original paint to it. Yeah, it's getting thrown away.
4-bolt.
It is a 4-bolt. Whoa.
Told you.
That's gross. Hey, 4-bolt man.
Ew. It's plastic.
Is it? It looks metallic. Is that just the oil?
It's like a plastic tooth. It has.
Oh, the teeth. It was a tooth.
It was.
It's a plastic.
Yeah, this is. Well, it's
Wait,
a
there's
nylon.
metal infused on it.
Yeah, it's a nylon. Crazy. But yeah, look how loose it is.
Yeah. Well, that's what we found in the oil pickup. It was that tooth right there. There's the bolt that I dropped in there. Legit.
I'm gonna leave that in the oil pan. This is extremely old technology that Ford still uses.
A Ford burn?
It is. It is. This is an old Link style non-roller. Ford still uses this style chain on their Coyotes, of all things.
So I think the thing we could take away from here, outside the motor looking like junk and just worn out, is that's probably why this thing got pulled out of the car. Just old and worn out, because there's no real sign of piston failure or rod or I don't know.
With that timing gear, I imagine it ran pretty poorly.
Probably.
Especially considering that the camshaft gear in these also run the oil pump and the distributor. So there was probably a lot of slop happening in there with spark scatter and stuff like that.
So jump forward a little bit. The bearings don't look atrocious. They're definitely
They definitely have some issues.
They got some streaks.
Might have been a little Pennzoil abuse on these. Yeah, it's a GM factory bearing. So it's just strange, just a lot of strange stuff in this motor. Like all the date codes are right, but standard bearings, nylon gears, it's just weird.
Mike's used to working on the performance type versions of the 350.
No, usually we pull them apart from trucks. Throw all the guts away and then start all the way over.
Nice. But I mean, this thing is not seized up. It actually freely spins. The only crazy issue right now is that one piston. Well, sleeve, I guess you'd say. You don't re-sleeve a cast iron block, so can it be fixed? Outside of that, besides the dirt and grime all over, this block might be salvageable. And a lot of people probably think I'm crazy for even considering it, including Mike, because he wants me to just put that one in there, call it a day. I don't know, what would you guys do? So this is my oldest son's first car. It's still a V8, so he'll never have to tell people like I did. My first car was a 4-cylinder. Geo Prism.
My first car was a 4-cylinder too.
Yeah, so he's already he's 4 cylinders ahead of me in life. But would you keep the original? I mean, this is the numbers matching block out of the car. Now, this is not going to be a numbers matching rebuild. So I guess at the end of the day,
No, it doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter. But for those of you who are parents and have kids, like, would you, I mean, an LS1 makes what, double the amount of power this thing does?
Technically, they were supposed to be rated the same.
Were they?
LT1 versus LS1 in this year would have been rated about the same power.
Yeah.
No. In a straight up drag race, the LS1 would smoke it.
Oh yeah, no, I wouldn't, I'm not asking in that.
Just pound for pound. But I mean, the reliability, the easy maintenance of it.
Because it's an LS versus old school 1970s technology.
Yep.
I don't know. Let me know guys what you think, because rebuilding a 350 is not that expensive. Building an LS1 is really not that expensive either anymore. I don't think it ever was that expensive. Maybe when they first came out.
Especially when you know somebody with one in their garage.
I don't know anybody. I don't know who you're talking about.
I got that sweet 5.3, bro.
Who are you talking about?
I got that sweet 5.3.
Choices. It's interesting to see that this block has survived almost 52 years.
That is, I mean, God knows how long it's been sitting, and it wasn't covered up and done right.
It was not covered up,
it wasn't,
obviously.
If somebody would have covered it up and that cylinder wasn't that bad.
There were straight spider webs on the crank.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's really not in bad shape. It probably ran like dog shit when it was pulled out.
It's cool that it's kind of remained with the car, though. I don't know. That kind of stuff I think is cool. I mean, maybe call me crazy.
Not really.
I'm not attached to this motor. I'm not, but
It'd make a better coffee table.
that?
You can send it with Kyle when he goes off to like college and stuff like that.
Yeah. Have all of his roommates carry it upstairs.
Well, at least you know he was hanging out with some studs.
Well, we've disassembled almost everything. Crank came out pretty nice. I mean, you guys saw that. The covers, the main bearings didn't look too bad. They're not perfect, but not terrible. But that cam, oh God. Is that just because it's flat tappet?
This is a normal flat tappet deal.
You can just see the wall. I'll wait till he pulls it out. You could really see
So basically, when he started pulling all the zinc, the good stuff out of the oils and stuff like that, and I mean, you can just tell by
trying to get the...
You can just tell by the coloration in here that it probably wasn't a real bad oil that they ran, but it didn't have all the additives it needed. And this is where it starts wearing this stuff out.
Yeah. You're trying to get the
lifters
out.
They might be a little mushroomed. Choose violence.
Mike's wife calls these the wiggle sticks.
This is the wiggle stick.
The wiggle. So distributor and fuel pump gear. I didn't know it. I knew it was a distributor gear. I did not know that was fuel pump.
Oil pump.
Or oil pump. Sorry, did I say fuel pump? I did.
Oh yeah, it ran real bad, didn't it? That's why that lifter didn't want to come out. So it's wiped this lobe off of it, and these weren't far behind it, but this one's completely gone.
Yeah.
So she was definitely making some noise and ticking when she came out. Yeah, look, it's you can see how some of them have got a nice little peak like this one here, and then this one here is just
not.
just not. Oh yeah, there's another one here.
One too.
Yeah, it was taking the cam out. This was probably running really bad at the end of its life. A simple cam swap probably could have really breathed some more life into this car.
It's interesting. So when I cleared out the 70, and I was telling Mike this just a second ago, I found a bunch of UC Berkeley parking passes for more years than anybody would be going to college. So I'm pretty certain, I can't be certain, but I'm pretty certain a teacher or maybe someone that worked on the campus owned this car originally. It was really cool to find them, but I mean, it was from 73 to 81 was the time span that all the parking passes were, and they were all stuffed underneath the carpets. Like they must have fell back behind there at some point, but It's pretty cool.
Doctor.
Maybe.
He was a doctor.
Maybe. Doctor driving a Camaro. That's a pretty cheap car for a doctor.
No, not for a doctor student.
Yeah, you may be right. I don't know. Interesting. If your parent went to UC Berkeley and had a silver Camaro, I would love to talk to you because the car was originally silver. I believe they painted it yellow and then maroon. I don't know. It's quite a few different colors over the years, but I don't know. We're going to send this block out no matter what just to see if that cylinder wall can be salvaged. If not, then obviously the motor is a lost hope. And yeah, that's all I got. So huge shout out. If you guys don't know Mike, Red Barn Racing, I didn't really introduce you properly at the beginning of this video. I just assumed people knew you. No, I didn't. Didn't happen.
Am I popular yet? I don't think so.
Yes, popular. So Mike, Red Barn Racing, this is his shop. This is the engine room that we just we destroyed. But if you guys classic cars, yeah, that's Mike's 68 and it has a 632, a big old 632 big block in it that makes Chevy's new 632 look like a little baby motor. So he also builds motors like this. There's an LS7 fresh build. This is also going into a 68.
Yeah, 68.
Yeah, and then I have no idea what the heck that is.
That's an LS7.
That's an LS7?
Yep, that's a factory LS7 going in a 69 Camaro.
69 Camaro. Oh, that's the yeah, Tyler's. And then, you know, he's got some blocks chilling and stuff like that, and he loves this stuff. He loves it. So if you guys ever need motor work or anything like that, admittedly, it had been a long time since he's worked on one of these old 350s, and I don't think many of you guys are running these motors anyways, but if you're looking for something fresh and new to drop in your classic, Mike's your man. So him and I actually, if you didn't see that motor series of my LS7 for the 71, the Lethal Classic, Mike actually helped, well, I'm gonna say he did it. He says I did it, but it was a joint effort of my first full motor build for my first resto build. Yeah, it was really cool. I learned a lot. So it does run. We've driven it like 9 miles. So the exhaust comes at the end of this month, so I'm super excited for that. And then my wife will probably actually want to sit in the car and go for a drive. So, but that's all I got. 350 for the MaryJo build. To be determined, but it's not as bad as it could have been. It just looks like it was a tired motor, and we'll get the block checked out and I will report back on what happens. So until next time, guys, and huge shout out again to Mike. Thank you, sir. I'll see you on the road.